Okay, I'm going to be starting in a couple minutes. If you're one of my newsletter friends or you're just dropping in for the first time, feel free to say hello on the chat. Oh, I got to sign up for get into my Restream chat. Just a second. Good, good, good. Okay. If you said hi on YouTube or something, I might not have seen it yet because I just logged in to my chat. And David, what kind of temperature is it out there? I'm curious. Like, I assume beautiful for New Mexico means cooler because maybe it's super hot. At least for me, if I say, if I'm in Miami and I say that um, the weather is beautiful, it definitely means it's cooler. Oh my gosh, my favorite. All right, is my sound okay on the, anyway, if anybody wants to let me know if my sound's okay, that's great. And I'm going to give you guys a little peek. Okay, good. Now I'm super paranoid about that. Okay, let's switch to my standard screen. Wait for it to transition. Okay. So, oh hey, oh yeah, nice to see you again. I don't know what to exactly call you because your username is oh yeah. Yeah, so we've been doing fall stuff all week, but I wanted to do something sparkly and different for Friday, something easy peasy. I was a little bit falled out, you know? And so, yeah, I thought I would do some Opal stuff. It'll be really fun. Fun and easy and fast. And I am vibing right now to my, whenever I'm doing my live stream, I have the my headphones on. They are actually not for my microphone. My microphone is right here, but I like to listen to this like alpha brainwaves on playlist on Spotify. I think it's super relaxing and it just kind of vibes me out. And like I don't even hear it, but it's in the background. It's like kind of nice. But yeah, so we're going to do this demo today. I'm going to show you how easy it is. We are going to go back to my Celestial Goldmine layer styles because they are so much fun and there's so many things you can do with them. And just like, I'll get into the tutorial in just a few minutes, in just a couple minutes, but just like a little bit of backstory. It's funny how I'm always like, um, just kind of evolving and like listening to my subscribers and stuff because or how things evolve, and so I'm always just thinking of how I can like bring more value or make it easy for people. And sometimes I have to remind myself like not everyone wants to create everything from scratch, so you know that's how some of these products evolve. And like for example, for this one I created, first of all, I created these jewel and gemstones illustrations. I thought that would be really cool. And even though they're like, and to create these, I sourced color palettes from actual images. I created these set of brushes and like layered, you know, layered and layered and layered to create this really sort of like a depth in these stones. And I was very inspired by the raw jewelry, like raw crystals, not refined or whatever. So I created those. And then, you know, and I had those available for sale on my site. But then I was like, oh, well, maybe people would like to create their own gemstones. So then what I did was I released the brushes that I used and then all of the color palette collections for the multicolor color blending brushes. And I was like, oh, that's cool. You know, I think that will be useful to my members, and people liked it. But then I thought, wait, maybe somebody wants these, you know, to create these effects, um, you know, just super easy. They don't want to build it up like I did from like 8 different brushes. And, you know, even I did a tutorial on how I built up these, the stone illustrations using layer upon layer brushes, different color palettes, whatever. So then I turned them into layer styles, which was, to be honest, really a challenge because I had to make them, like when I do layer styles, really it's a pattern overlay. So it's a textured overlay over the layer. And I have to think about it so that like whatever size or whatever that they click on, that it's still going to essentially look good. So, you have to really think that out, make it the right proportions and all of this. And so that was a bit of a challenge. So that's what we're going to be using is these layer styles today that I created. By the way, if you've not checked these out, like they also include the golds, which these gold layer styles, these gold like nuggets sort of things is like my favorite gold that I've ever made. I'm obsessed with them. And so definitely check that out. And if you are a Behance subscriber, you can download my demo files from today and also an edited collection of these layer styles. So you can get the brushes that I'm using today and the layer styles. So they're actually, reattached them to this live stream, but they're attached to this project here, the Celestial Gold Mine. So anyway, and I'll give you a little look into how I made this one, but the layer styles allow you to just add these effects super fast. So much fun. So don't sit on, like you can make your own layer styles for yourself. And maybe sometime I might go into like, well, I did actually do a live stream of how I was making these layer styles, so you can check that out. But let's pop into it, get into the tutorial here. And I thought I would make some cool abstract background, digital background, with the opal styles and mixing in some gold. And so we're using we're using a couple layer styles and we're using a Photoshop mixer brush. And it's really easy. You might look at this and think, okay, this looks really complicated, but we're going to do this super fast. So I'm always creating resources to like make my community's life easier, make my fellow creators' life easier. So let's just bounce into that. So I'm just going to go window arrange to up vertical, and we're going to just like leave this over here as a reference layer. And let's get into this. So first thing that I'm going to do is I have like a color fill background, and I am going to first apply the layer style. So you're going to get a peek of all these different opal layer styles. So this is what it looks like just on the background, which is cool. But normally you're using it on part of an image or not like a whole background. Although you can use these as a background. But this is opal 1, and let me just. Yeah, you get a good overview here. So when I was creating these, I layered brushstroke on brushstroke on brushstroke on brushstroke on brushstroke, using all the different opal color palettes. And I wanted to make sure that there's little bursts of different colors all over, and little smears of like rainbowy effects. And so these took a lot of time. The opals and the pearls were pretty the hardest. So here's opal 2. And I pulled these colors from actual opal images. Opal 5, opal 6, opal 7. I think I used opal 7 here for this demo. Opal 8, opal 9, opal 10, opal 11, 12. And here I'll just give you a peek on the pearls. And they don't look so whatever when you're looking at the whole sheet, the whole, texture overlay, but when you use them in the projects, they give really great effects. So I'm just going to leave opal 7 because I think that's amazing. And for example, there's a little dark spot on this one, which I'm not super crazy about. So I can double click on my pattern overlay and just select into the canvas and move it around a little bit if I want to. So that's a tip that you might not be aware of. So let's just do that, and it's good enough. So now I'm going to make a new layer above that, and now I'm going to go ahead and apply one of my gold styles from the Celestial Gold Mine collection. And here in my styles panel, I keep an edited collection of all of my different styles collections. because I have so many. And then I keep the full ones inside my Creative Cloud libraries, which is amazing. So I think I used gold 2 from the Celestial Goldmine collection. So I'm going to go ahead and apply that to the layer before I start. And then I'm going to go grab my brushes. And these are the brushes that came with the Celestial Goldmine collection. And I'm going to grab, I don't know exactly what brush I grabbed. Rough 2 or rough 3. Ooh, I have the smoothing on really high. For this one, I do not need that. You can feel it sometimes. Oh yeah, I think it's rough 9. Okay, so rough 9 brush. And we're really not going to be precious with it, so I'll just draw a stroke. And of course, since the layer style is already applied, it's, you can see the gold as you paint, which I like. So, and if you have any questions, just holler. Yeah, so I don't want to make those too big. I don't know if I made those nice and, I don't know if that's exactly the same style. Maybe not. Or exactly the same brush. Maybe it was rough 3. So, I'm just going to redo it here because I don't want them to be too thick because I want to get 4 of these strokes in. I don't know why I'm like taking a million years to do that. So let's go like that. Let's go like that. Okay, so now we've got 4 strokes in there. Easy peasy. Now we'll make a new layer above that. And now we are going to make that creamy mixer brush here. And we're going to have that opal and that gold interact. And now you could think, okay, I need to merge those layers, need to duplicate them, merge them, turn off the layer styles, but you don't actually have to do that. We're all about working non-destructively. So let's make a new layer above it. And then I'm going to grab my Blend 1 brush from the same collection. And I think I'm going to make it just a little bit bigger than it is. But now we're going to, it's a blending brush. It's a mixer brush with the mixer brush settings tweaked so that it'll blend all the colors. But the blending brushes that I have do not have any colors already loaded in them. So they're going to use the colors on the canvas. But the main thing that you have to remember to do is click on sample all layers. So then it will pull the colors from your canvas and anything below it. And because I'm doing this on a new layer, it's going to have, it's not going to bother what's below those 2 layers that I have with the layer styles applied. So that's really good. And I have this document where I have a little preview crop here with the dark gray. I've spoken about that before. I like to have, say I'm doing a document that's 1500 by 1500. I like to have a document that is 1700 by 1700 and have a preview crop. That way, if I create an element, it's not completely cut on the side and I can move it around and, have a little wiggle room there. So, but now if I just take this brush and I start pulling, it's going to pull that color even from that layer above it. So we don't want to do that. So let's undo that. And I'm going to turn off that layer and I'll turn on my guides. Oh, I don't have my guides on this one, but anyway, yeah, that's okay. And now I'm going to hit my right bracket a couple times because I want to make that brush a little bit bigger. And now I'm going to just go like this. Let me see if I'm seeing my whole document here. Oh yeah. Okay. Let's just scooch this here. All right, turn that back off. So now it's creating that new layer above it and it's pulling the colors from below, but it's non-destructive. So you can even change those layer styles afterwards if you want. And you're getting that gorgeous, gorgeous colors and the blending of the colors, the blending of the opals from the layers below it. Now, I'm actually going to click my right bracket one more time with the mixer brush selected because I want it to be a little bit bigger. There we go. We got that gorgeous opal sort of wave of color. And I'm just going to touch the gold a little bit so that you can see that pulling into that gold. Maybe I'm just going to touch it a little bit more. And now here, I think I'll turn the smoothing up just a bit to like 50% because I want it to be nice and smooth. So we want it to like pull into some of that gold so you see that interaction a bit. Okay, good enough. And now let's make one over here. Now we're gonna pull on that gold just a little bit so you're getting that gorgeous, strokey sort of thing. Lovely. And then we'll do down there. So it's like, and it's funny because this is nothing like reality, which is my favorite thing because I'm not that great at doing reality. So, at least drawing or whatever. These brushes are like very fantastical, very fun. And it feels a little dimensional, but it's just in Photoshop. It's not like 3D or anything modeling. So, so that's a lot of it. And then also what's cool is now even if you wanted to change the layer style to a different opal or create different versions of this, you can just click on it and change that and you still get the same sort of feeling. Let's see here. Yeah, you still get the same sort of feeling of that blending of it. So that's really cool. That's super non-destructive. That's awesome. I love that. And here I can change it. Oh, not that one. Goodness. Undo. Okay, I don't know why it's not undoing. But yeah, I love that. I love being able to change it up. You could make different versions. That looks really pretty. Um, of this, say you could make this into a digital paper and sell it and then have different versions using all the different opals. So that's super cool. So we're all about making your life easier. And I love that. I think that looks really pretty. So now that I'm done with the blending, I'll turn my preview crop back on. And also the same thing with the gold. You can change the gold. Let me go into my library where I keep all these gold, and this is gold 2, so I could change it. I like the light gold. Now see, if I change it to a dark gold, it wouldn't look exactly this like as good. Okay, I do not know why my keyboard shortcuts is not working right now. It's driving me crazy. But here I could change to this gold. It still vibes. Gold 14, okay, that's a little bit too dark. Gold 18, that looks good. Gold 22, that looks good. So with these layer styles that I've created, oh, that looks quite cool too. Gold 27. You can make different versions of this using like the same essential template. So that's quite cool. So there we've got the base of it. And now what did I add? Let me see here. Here's my demo. Oh, okay. Now this is very subtle, but I added some soft opal over the gold because I wanted to get that feeling of like a little more dimensionality in it. Oh, hey, Fatima, glad to see you. Thanks for saying hey. So let's go over to the gold layer. So that's underneath the wet layer that we just created. Make a new layer, and I'm going to put a different one of my opal layer styles. Or no, I think I'll use the same one. Okay, so I'll use opal 7. It'll work, but you can use different ones. So I'll put opal 7 on that. And then I'm going to go to my brushes and get one of the soft brushes. I think like 6. Let's try this out. And it doesn't matter what color you put it in because we're using the layer style. So it's going to be covered with that texture that I've already created. And so now I can go over the gold, and now look right here. It adds a little bit of like depth. It adds a little just I just like it. I think it makes it feel a little softer, a little more mystical. You're like, oh, when you add those layers like that, it feels a bit more painterly. And you know, when you see this image, you're like, wow, how did they make that, you know? But we know the deal that we know the deal that it's like lots of, you know, resources that I've made and, you know, letting Photoshop do the hard work. So there we've just added that soft brush stroke a little to cover some of the gold. And that just adds a little bit more dimensionality. And what else? Oh, and so then just to add a touch more dimensionality, just over our background layer here, I'm going to make a new layer and put a different opal layer style on my on the layer before I start painting on it. So let's go to my jewel styles. I'm gonna scroll down and just take like more of a maybe a green one. I'll put opal 10 and we'll see how it turns out. We can always change it. And by the way, I think I'm going to do some more demos with the Celestial Gold Mine layer styles because right now, like with TikTok and trends and everything, everything like gemstone, horoscope, crystals are so on trend right now. So this can let you make some designs, you know, with that trend in mind really easily. That's in fact why I created them myself. And I'm gonna grab now, just a reminder, I've made one layer above my background layer and I've already added the opal layer styles and I'm going to paint with this rough 4 brush. And let me just turn off the layer style so that I can just preview this brush. Oh yeah, okay. So it's just like a little, I don't know how you will explain that. It's kind of painting a little, kind of like one of my pattern painter brushes, but I want to add a little bit more magical depth into that background layer. So let's turn on the layer style. Now that's cool. So you see how I'm just painting that and it's just, I'm going to paint this in some spots and just add a little bit more of that, an opal on top of opal. And it's really getting kind of an even extra more opal effect, if that makes sense. Oh my gosh. So yeah, opal on opal. And now we've created this really, so that's all my layers that I did on this one. But now we've created this really cool background. I think it's fun. I love it. I love sparkles. I love, you know, glimmery things. I love shiny things. I think I'm like a magpie. And oh, and then I can show you, I know this one went pretty fast. So I'm going to just take a couple minutes and show this little bit like how I did this demo. And I have this demo file available for you guys to check out. And it was just, you know, this looks quite, you know, complicated and what have you, but it was really a bit easy. So let me, oh, hey, Maurilius, super happy to see you anyway. It's okay, I need to do some morning sessions so that people on the other side of the world can see. Okay, so I'm gonna like show you guys how I did this. Let's set this over here. And for this one, and of course you guys will have the access to the file. So what I did was let's just put an opal layer style on our layer before we start painting. And I took kind of a soft brush. Gosh, forget exactly which brush I used. Oh yeah, okay. It looks like it was soft 3. So I just made, when I was doing this one over here, and I'll probably not put them together, but I just created some circles, okay, like this, with that layer style already put on. And then I made a new layer and I'll grab another different layer style, opal layer style. And then I just, you know, went like this. I don't know if I love that. Well, it's different, it's dark. Okay, so I'm not going to do the whole thing, but just, you know, like a little preview or whatever. And so I'll try one more layer style, opal 4. And okay, I didn't really space those out really super duper. So I think I'll go to my original one, take my magic wand tool, and I'm not going to worry if I leave a little trace behind. So I'll put that over here so you could see. Okay, so let's just deselect that. Okay, that's enough. We're going to go through these fast because I don't want the tutorials to be too long and boring, you know? Got to have a little fun. Little fun, little ideas, just enough to get your imaginations going. So then, what did I do? Okay, so we're going to use these as a clipping mask. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to group them, Command G, Control G. I'm going to duplicate that group by holding down the Option or Alt and dragging it. I'm going to right click, I'm going to merge the group. So now I've got them all on one layer and it's cool. Okay, so what I did then, underneath it, I had, okay, so underneath that group, I put another layer and I will put a different opal layer style on it. And let's try 9. And then I just created, I think I used one of my soft brushes, like maybe, yeah, like soft 1, it doesn't really matter. And I kind of just, maybe that's too much brush, maybe soft 7. So just like on this, I didn't want them to be too separate. So I had, you know, kind of created some brush strokes like this in between, although it looks a little silly because I don't have that many here, but just to kind of add some softness and that it doesn't feel like it's just circles on top of the background. So we were just adding a little bit of like softness to connect them. And then let's go back to so then we made a clipping mask. Yeah, okay. So now we make a clipping mask on top of the original circles. So make a new layer, Option, and then click between them to make a clipping mask. And I'm going to make I'll add 2 layers in between there so I don't have to do the clipping mask each time. And then now I'm going to add an opal layer style. So let's just grab 11. And I just wanted to add a little bit extra depth so I can take like my soft 6 or my soft 7 brush and just kind of, I had just added some strokes there, just a bit, I believe. Let's go here. Well, I'm going to turn off the pattern overlay so you can see what I did. So just on some of them, here's the brush stroke so you can see it. I just added a little opal on opal like we did on that last one. And, you know, it's not necessary, but I like, you know, kind of building up those opal layers. It can be kind of cool. And then on the layer above it, I added one of my gold layer styles. So in this case, maybe let's just add one of the, on the top of the styles, I added a recent one, but it's also the Celestial Gold Mine. And I'll get my regular brush. And I took, I think it was the same like rough 4. So I just kind of went like this in between some of them, and that was cool. So we've got that creating a clipping mask there. So it's all about layers. And then the last layer that I did was underneath, gosh, let's hear. Yeah, underneath that soft opal layer that we put behind them. Behind that, I put another layer with the gold. I can maybe use a different gold. Added that gold to the layer style, and it looks like, I'm going to turn this off. I used a softer brush. So I used like, let's say soft 6. Maybe it was soft 6 or soft 7. I don't know. And don't know if I love that. So yeah, I just, yeah, so I just added a little bit. Yeah, it looks a little faded. But I added some of that behind just to add a little bit of depth. So you can see that over here. We just added some, but I think like if you hold it down, it'll kind of get more, less, it'll fill in. I don't know how you say it. The transparency, because I don't like that half transparency with that layer style applied is not my favorite. And I actually might have used, now that I'm thinking about it, I might have used one of my layer styles from my Galaxy collection, um, because they had some kind of, uh, 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 let's see if I can find it. Oh, they're out here. But, I'm not going to worry exactly if I don't find it. Yeah, like, because I don't kind of like that, the background, the transparency so much. But yeah, just to add a little bit more depth or what have you. And let me flip through my styles. So, you can, I like the light style, like the gold too, just to match, but you didn't have to do that. So, not exactly sure which brush I use. You could leave it off, but that is actually how I made that background like you see here. It's actually on my Layer Styles collection. It's one of my display images. So you really get that feel of that opal, and you can make something similar for yourself. And you can create items for sale. You can, I'm very clear to my friends who follow me, like, use these to make items for sale. You can use the tutorials that I create, use it as a template. It can look just like mine as long as you made it. I'm here to bring you guys value. I'm here to make your lives easier, and give you guys some ideas that'll spur off your own thing. So you could turn this into a template for Adobe Express, for Canva, a package of digital backgrounds, what have you. And just a little heads up for my subscribers. I've attached the demo files for this one, but for like the last 2 or 3 lives, I haven't attached the demo files yet. I keep saying I will, and I'm going to do that this afternoon. And make sure you're subscribed for my newsletter, because I've got a lot of fun things coming, and I'm also going to have a lot of these digital backgrounds that I'm making for my demo available for free for web use, for personal use, even for commercial use. And then also for my subscribers, you can even use them in items for sale. So definitely want to bring you guys a lot of value. And thanks for everybody who popped in today. Please thank you for that. And yeah, we'll see. I streamed, I think, most days this week. I don't know if I'll have a specific time for tomorrow, but I do want to try to like pop on different times so I can grab, maybe catch live some of the people on the other side of the world. So we'll see if I'll do that. But yeah, I'll have the link down below for my newsletter. And if you have any questions, comments, or things you would like to see on my live stream, please let me know. Leave a comment. And David, great to see you again. Fatima, Marilius, I'm super happy to see you guys. And you make the live streams like a lot of fun for me, because I feel like I'm like chatting with somebody. So, oh, thanks so much, David. Yeah, they are cool, right? Like, I use them a lot. And with the holiday season coming up, I think I'm going to go back and find some new ways to use my Instaglam and creative couture collection, because, I want to make some sparkly stuff for the holidays. And enjoy your flipping beautiful day in the 70s. Super jealous. And yeah, so I'll see you guys next time. Thanks for tuning in.